Hello Dream Team, welcome along to The Good, The Bad and The Rugby in partnership with our very good friends at Continental Tyres. The full-time hooter has just gone in the game between England and Japan. Tough work, but a bonus point win nevertheless. Do you want to come in hot on this? Debrief?
I'm coming
spluttering.
in.
You're
I'm
spluttering.
coming in soulless. Right. You go from the high of I was watching Fiji, we're in the same spot, you know, all their back line just making basically 100 metres to seeing. I had hope today. And it's really deflated.
It's the hope that kills you. That's what they say.
It's deflated me back.
But no one lifts the trophy in week 2. It was a good Japan side who played above their station, certainly from what we've seen in recent games.
Did Japan play above their station, or did England allow them to play? Look, there's bits in that second half that were really good, but you know, we go down there. Obviously, the poor Japanese guy who knocks it on in the first minute. We don't score that, which we should have. We should have scored then, and then we should believe in ourselves to go after it. Kick the ball away so much, and I've tried to be positive. I've actually really tried to be positive, but the big question tonight was about your attack game and being comfortable playing with the ball. And they don't play with the ball. Kick the ball away 42 times. 42 times. That's more than any game with both teams included over this weekend.
Okay, but can you understand why they're doing this? This is a team that is trying to find something.
You can if you look at their knock-ons.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
they don't want the ball.
Yeah, look, I think they made so many handling errors in that first half. Very frustrating, pretty dull. Obviously, after, as Mike said, after the high of Fiji, I think, look, ultimately they got the result. They forced it. I don't think Japan...
They've got a bonus point win.
Yeah, and I don't think... Look, the point is, I think they won ugly. Did we learn much today? No. Did a couple of players get some opportunities? Yes. I just think... Every time they look like they've got, you know, they keep the ball and they build some momentum, they come onto it in speed, they look to offload. I thought, you know, we're not going to individual players, but Payno was fantastic tonight. I think they look dangerous. Other times they look pedestrian, look dull, but I think that's the nature of it, especially in a frustrating game where they're still, you don't want Argentina game to have papered over any cracks. I think there are some cracks there, but actually, you know, I'm
tell you what.
The thing is, the cracks are that they just can't hold on to the ball. Like the amount of turnovers that they give, and you combine that with the amount of time they kick the ball away in the opposition 40, let alone their 22, on freebies and everything else. Finally, out of 42 kicks, one had to work the crossfield kick to Freddie Stewart. But it's the grubbers behind. The amount of times that George Ford kicked, he was so close to the line, he can't kick. Now, I'm not taking away from Japan's defence. They flew up and they caused mayhem. And we actually reacted quite well and dropped so deep if you were at that back ball that you had time to play on and we got on the outside of him a couple of times. But it's just how long it takes to get there or to figure it out, and you're not going to get that time.
We're going to do a proper Megapod as per Megapod. I was watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial on Netflix earlier today. Amber Heard, yeah, and they were talking about Megapod. So the Megapod is out on Wednesday as per usual with all the proper breakdown and debrief, and we're going to get very into Tier 2. But as England, people who've been there and done it for England, and you feel a bit disappointed.
Not particularly well at World
tonight.
Cups, I might add.
Well, nevertheless, you've been there and done it, played at the very highest level. England fans tonight will feel a bit like, but France fans will feel quite similar, having not picked up a bonus point against Uruguay. Wales scraped home with a bonus point against Portugal. Australian fans are on their haunches right now. Is there a theme to this weekend? Have we got to go easy on England? These games are tricky. You've just got to get through them, get what you need and get on, or is there a greater concern from an England fan's perspective?
Of course you do, and I think what we are seeing is how the Tier 2 teams are stepping up. We'll probably do a bit more analysis on that because we spent a bit of time on it today. You've still got certain guarantees, like looking after the pill, resourcing rucks, having an intent on the way you want to play, and that was what. I think the first half fully deflated. I think they were better in the second half, so I'm carrying something from the first. But in the first half, everything was kicked. They kicked every attacking opportunity away, and on penalty advantages when you're 25 metres out from the line, gives you time to mess around, play, because if you make a mistake, it's fine, you got the penalty. But then just to go for a random kick that's got no real purpose it's just a waste of opportunity.
To answer your question, I think the gap is completely narrowed, and I think actually the mindset around this sport has to change with playing these teams. I think, you know, there maybe are a couple that you would expect to get drilled, But for the most part, these teams are stepping up, are playing. I think the difference between the conditioning, the professionalism has completely is completely sort of narrowed now to the point where they're going to give us a good battle. I think the interesting thing about the England game, the frustration thing, will be the unforced errors, the times where the timing was a little bit off and the errors were there, when actually if they'd kept the ball, they hadn't kicked it away, they hadn't dropped so many bits and pieces, hadn't had any unforced errors, they would have done really well. So I think that's where the frustration comes in. But I think you've got to respect these teams now and to get out of the mindset, we should be beating them by 70 points. I don't think you should. I think Japan, have caused upsets in every World Cup.
But I agree 100%. But so I predicted 42-10 today. It's finished up at 34-12. So I'm 7 points off. But it hasn't been how I expected us to get there.
Exactly.
If you know what I mean. So you've got to take it. But, James will tell you, you've got to be critical of yourselves. And they are a long way off where they would want to be. Things aren't right if Joe Marler has to header it forward.
What an assist.
What an assist.
What an assist.
For you to score.
Like Zizou in 98.
Will Stewart off the house brick onto his Swede. Courtney, though, fair play. That's a lesson for any kids out there. Always play to whistle. Courtney's gone straight through, put it ball over the line, where most people would have gone, sacre bleu, and thrown the ball up in the air. Well, if you were French, maybe. But.
Can I ask you about whether you think this England team, right here, right now, need controversy and the chips to be down in order to start playing? And I'm looking back to Charlie Ewels being sent off in the first minute of that England-Ireland game in last year's Six Nations. They played extremely well for 75 minutes or whatever it was. You think of the chips being down against the All Blacks, and they come back to draw at 26 or whatever it is. You think about the red card going out to 12 men against Wales.
I don't think they need controversy. I think what
they
need.
Don't seem to be able to fire up.
I think they just need to relax. First of all, I think they need to have a minute. I think they need to stay calm, and I think they need to look at themselves and go, right, it's hard enough to get the ball these days, and how they keep it. And actually, if you look at every opportunity they're giving it away. So if someone drops the ball, no one drops the ball on purpose. That's an issue. But kicking the ball away, it's a 50-50 if you kick the ball away, unless it's a perfectly timed grubber through and someone's in clear space. You've got to respect the ball. You've got to look after it. I think at the moment, England are playing so fast and loose with it that actually, if they just looked after it, played a bit, get guys in with some momentum onto the ball, they look completely different. Payno when he came onto the ball today, Johnny May when he came onto the ball, Freddie Stewart when he came onto the ball, Lewis Ludlam when he came. All these guys look completely different. They look.
There's the Welsh.
There's Welsh.
Have you got anything to shout about being Welsh?
But no, I think for me that's where they need to be. I don't think they need any more drama. I think they just need to have a minute, back themselves, and just stay calm.
Yeah, look, right. I'm going to put my deflated negative hat on. I'm going to turn it round into a and turn it round. There were positive. Ellis off the bench was actually our bench in general was positive. Marcus Smith does look deadly at 15.
So have you got to have him in the squad now because of the difference?
There are questions to be asked. I thought our bench came on and made a real difference today. So I thought Manu had a good game at parts, but it took 22 minutes to get him in the game. And then there were parts in the second half where we managed to get outside them, and then we actually played with a bit of intent, played with a bit of tempo in the game, lifted it. I think, for disappointingly...
There's a James Hask.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
I think disappointingly in the first half...
I haven't read the book.
Alex Mitchell didn't really lift the tempo of the game. We played to a certain structure.
But he's playing to a structure he's been given, isn't he?
Of course.
I mean, you can't go out there and play like...
But then that's the whole point, is you can't coach play. So now you've made me flip it to a negative. You can't coach players to play a different style to what is their natural game. You need to find a way to play a game that suits the players that you have. And the second half was more like how you'd want England to play, high tempo, fast ruck speed, managing to get it to the wingers. But still, I don't think it's happening enough.
Tomorrow, last question on England. Tomorrow, do we wake up and think, oh, God, or do we think, do you know what, bonus point win over a tricky Japan side, park it, move on?
I'd say actually chalk it off. It's another win. It's another bonus point. Who actually cares? Don't worry about it. I think for me, I don't think it's a problem. Let's not stress.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whose idea was this?
Scottish bloke on day release. He's popped out for the day.
Do you know what? Coming into this World Cup, all the headlines were England are going to do well to get out of the group. We're going to lose to Argentina. We are 2 from 2. We picked up a bonus point against Japan.
But that's it.
Not perfect.
Look,
Doesn't need to be right here, right now.
we're riding the roller coaster of what England rugby is right now, in the fact that you look at the hardship that they went into last week, and now George Ford just managed the game. The defensive alignment, the defensive speed, just strangled Argentina, and we got the win up it. You then go in, you raise your expectations going in, because you take the control and the physicality is a given now. They're going to turn up with that again, but then the detail was just loose, so loose in that first half. And I still don't believe that they believe in their attack.
Right.
And that's what you need to say. They have confidence that they can hold on to the ball and just play. And stop bringing out in, you say, why don't you just hold on to the ball and play? Oh, yeah, well, statistically, you turn over the ball after 3 phases. Well, don't. Make sure you resource rucks. People have their jobs to do. But I'm going to wake up tomorrow. It'll all have gone tomorrow. We're 2 from 2. We've got a bonus point win. We're rolling on to Chile. Now, do I think that we should change the team for Chile? I don't know. We've got a week off after. So unless there are any knocks and bruises, I wouldn't change too many, because I still don't think we're in a position where everyone's got their partnerships correct and everything else. I would bring Ellis back in. Billy didn't make a real impact, so I possibly, when you bring Willis back in to give him another shot with Ben Earl at 8, possibly. Courtney was outstanding again. Just everywhere. It's not.
He cleaned up a load of tackles. If you watch when Japan made a line break, he's like the absolute road sweeper, just like at the back, just clearing bits up,
hoovering.
Yeah.
So there are. Do you give? Here's one for Chile. Do you give Marcus Smith a run full game at 15? There you go.
Possibly. Let's come back to England in due course on the Megapod this week. I just want to finish this sort of snapshot, which is our word of the tournament, review of the weekend we've had with Fiji.
Oh my God! Honestly, look, Australia, whatever. I just think a lot of times people talk about, when you have these surprise inverted commas, you end up talking about the disappointing performance of another team. I thought Fiji are brilliant. I think they're incredible. I think they are what every team aspires to be, and the way they want to play, with characters, with monsters, with monumental men with skills to pay the bills that you can't comprehend. Speed, power, intelligence.
Don't forget the scrum.
Yeah.
Don't forget the scrum. They had Australia on toast in certain parts. I think this weekend, what's affected the England game and everything else is how good every other tier 2 team has been. Portugal to the extremes. Uruguay against France. The way that a lot of it's coming from sevens, but they just back their sevens players to cause havoc with footwork, with skills, and that's why you look at this England team. You go, well, we have that in abundance. But we don't get to use it because we're so structure based.
Well, in my lifetime, Fiji's always dominated the sevens, along with New Zealand or whoever it might have been. That they've been up there as a premier team, but there was always a concern: why couldn't they translate it to 15s? They've done that. They should have beaten Wales. Let's not mess around. They should have been. Through a couple of hand areas, pushing it. They should have won that. They've now beaten Australia. They did it in a consistent way. There wasn't just individual flair. There was relentlessness about them. I think culturally.
The world's about to end because Alex went, Wales will beat Fiji, Fiji will beat Australia, and then Australia will beat Wales.
Yeah. I mean, 2 out
of 3 ain't bad.
I agree.
I just think if you're a neutral or your team ain't doing well, just get behind Fiji, because the Pacific Island teams, nations, they're all turning out, fronting up.
Fans are amazing, dancing in the stands.
And just honestly, if I could have any of the genetics, I'd have the Fijian genetics. They're just next level. A word in Australia, not ideal. I can't wait for Eddie's press conference. I don't really know what's going on there.
I've seen a snippet from Eddie's press conference. Yeah. Interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well.
Tell you what. Let's take a breath.
Yeah.
Let's fill our glasses. Let's enjoy what's been an unbelievable weekend. Well done, the Fijians. England get the job done in the end. The World Cup is coming to the boil. Bye for now.